Hello everybody, welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and today we're going to be working on a Macintosh SE. Ooh, look at this, Macintosh SE. Yes, even after we fix it, it'll still just be a Macintosh SE. Actually, I like Macintosh SEs. I have a really soft spot in my soul for them because it was basically the first vintage Mac I worked on before I started working on the YouTube channel. So this was a somewhat famous Mac SE. I don't know if I want to say it that way, but it was on Facebook Marketplace a few weeks ago. And basically, if you saw my thumbnail, the guy had it plugged into a Macintosh or an Apple II floppy disk drive. And so supposedly, when you do that to a Macintosh SE, you fry the IWM chip, and I might have lost the logic board. It's around here somewhere. We'll find it by some point today. All right, so we got to put this thing back together. It's had some issues, but let's start assembling and say hi to folks in the chat. We got Sloopy Malibu, Garth Beagle, the Pan Man GR, Dave Diamond, Vic the Vicar, Gut Bomb, Epictronics. Awesome. All right, thank you all for being here. I'm a little frazzled. I was I commented on this ad. Let's see if it's actually broken. Yeah, let's see if it's actually broken. I want to give a shout out real quick to the New England Vintage Electronics Club, which apparently used to be called the New England Antique Radio Club. They were having a swap meet today, so I stopped out there. So that was kind of fun. I saw some stuff. So this is the stuff I saw when we were out there. So this is one side of the room. You can see it's chock full of antique radios and folks looking at antique radios. Lots of cool stuff out there. There's an outside area too. I took this picture mostly for Tech Night. Look at all these vacuum tubes. There were so many vacuum tubes. This whole box, the guy was willing to sell the whole box for 20 bucks. Look at all these vacuum tubes and radios. So much good stuff. Am I actually showing you this? Oh yeah, I am showing you this. All right. Some cool radios and phonographs. Look at all these pretty things. Yeah, just such cool stuff. So that was fun to see. There wasn't much in the way of computer stuff, but maybe in the future, I hear that they're trying to expand more into vintage electronics in general, and get into like vintage computers. So that'll be fun. I did not buy any tubes. Oh, Dave Diamond, you were there. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, I would have loved to say hi. I got to meet Alan Gracia in person, so that was cool. So yeah, we had a nice little ride out there. Nice New England fall travel day. It's a nice day to travel in New England. All the leaves are starting to change. So this thing was pretty nasty once I popped it open. Let's get back to our SE here. There's still some nastiness. I thought I'd clean this thing up. This thing did get retrobrighted, so it does look a lot better than it used to be. Let's see. I did forget to clean the screen. How bad is our screen? Oh yeah, our screen's pretty bad. So let's give that a quick clean before we put this back together. There's some kind of weird dust in this thing. I don't know what's going on. Like when I popped it open, like all this dust fell out of the bottom of the chassis. I mean, it kind of looked like, I don't know, just like massive amounts of corrosion. So I don't know what that was. Hopefully it wasn't like alien eggs or something. All right, here we go. That's better. Love to see a retro bright video. So yeah, so actually if you go and check out, I think I put it in the video description, a link to my short that I did about this chassis. So I think I show you the before and after for that retro brighting there. Um, if I found alien eggs, it would be a ticket for a Nobel Prize in medicine. No, I don't know about that. It might like cause, I don't know, something gross to happen. I don't think I told this story yet, but a few weeks ago, I went and picked up that. What the heck was it? The Apple IIgs for gut bomb, and that thing was pretty gross, as we saw. Um, and like the 2GS wasn't the only thing I had to get. There was, what else was there? There was like an AT keyboard and a crappy LCD monitor. What else? I don't remember what else. I mean, they had the floppy drives, but the whole thing was just so gross. It was just so freaking nasty. And I had the stuff kind of like sitting in my shed, sort of. And the next day when I came out, there was like all kinds of little black spots like next to the crappy LCD monitor, like bugs had crawled out of it and laid eggs. Like that was pretty awful. But at least, you know, I bleached everything, and I also like sprayed bug spray around in a circle around that stuff, like a demonic summoning circle kind of thing around there. Hey, Justin D. Morgan, how's it going? This is a big bad SE, as big and bad as SEs get, I guess. When you mount the CRT in the chassis, do you have a strategy? No, I just kind of eyeball it. When you look at these things, you can kind of see when they're centered. And honestly, it's a lot easier to adjust the centering rings than it is to align the CRT when it's not powered up. So I just do it this way. It tends to be a little easier. What else now? Oh, we need this thing. Had this hanging up. So the chassis had some rust down on the bottom. So I just hit that with the wire wheel, took that out. And then gave it a little coat of spray paint to protect it. Oh, got this thing, the speaker. Actually, I want to check that speaker real quick just to make sure. Can't believe you're not wearing gloves. This is all relatively clean right now. This is after cleaning it all. You know, we're good. All right, let's check this. Just want to make sure the speaker's intact. It looks kind of gross. Yeah, 63 ohms. That's what it's supposed to be. This is like corrosion. I don't know what happened here. It's not like super nasty. And this thing soaked for 3 days in my retrobrighted setup. So whatever was in there is dead. But yeah, it's a little bit of rust on that speaker. It's just a speaker. I don't care. We got to get this thing back together and see if the IWM's fried. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use a little acetone and put that thing back on. Let's show you. Let's zoom it. Oh, that's a lot of zoom. We don't want to go that far. There's some zoom. Hey, Bacchus. Yeah, Sloopy says I've touched worse. All right, so we got our syringe. Gonna get a little acetone. Yeah, it was when I was touching this stuff when things were alive. That's when you had to worry about it. So we're gonna put a little acetone there. acetone here. I've never timed myself to see how quickly I can rebuild an SE. So this live stream will be my test. Okay. Yeah, I developed bad habits as a scientist, not wearing gloves. I used to do research on RNA, which is a very unstable molecule, and you'd have to like know exactly where all of your appendages were at any little time. And so like we used to not wear gloves because it was easy to get droplets of water on your gloves and have them fall into tubes and then totally destroy your samples. And so over the years, I stopped wearing gloves. Most of this stuff isn't too bad. I think everything we're touching today has been cleaned, so I don't feel too bad about it. I need my big heavy pokey thing. Looking for my punch. Oh, there it is. Okay, so while that acetone is still wet, we're gonna hit it with some 190-degree hot air. Put that in there, heat it up. You can see the plastic bubble a little bit. And then just smush that back in there. Same thing over here now. Okay. So that should hold our speaker in now. Well, that's another thing. In certain types of chemistry, gloves actually don't do anything for you. The nasty stuff can go right through there. So a lot of chemists also have learned not to wear gloves. But I tell the kids, you got to wear the gloves. Kids out there, always wear your gloves, just in case. Most of the stuff we do in the lab isn't that dangerous. All right, so now we got this thing. Just want to point out there are two types of Macintosh SE chassis, at least two types. One has a cutout here for the expansion area. This isn't, I think the older ones do not have that. So this is one of those. And with all of these, also point out that there are two lengths of screws, right? So these longer ones are the ones that hold the back chassis on. The shorter ones are what hold all the stuff to the front of the chassis. I also used to do stuff with radiation, and it was easy to not realize when you get a drop of radiation on your gloves and you spread it around the lab. Not that I ever did that. All right, you can see here we're putting screws into the plastic. Always try to turn your screws backwards first and hear the click go in. See if you can hear the click. There you go. There was the click. Apple did a change sometime in 1988. Okay, there you go. Neat. Vic the Vicar has both. Just months away from one another, and saw the difference between the hole and the no hole. Ah, Gutbaum's son is going to college for chemistry. Nice. Yes, both the logic boards do have the slot on them. And I think a lot of the early expansion cards had were designed to be flat, so they fit inside of here. Okay, so there we got our chassis. When you work on these, so the Mac SE is one of the few Macs that typically doesn't need a recap. So this is the power supply that was out of this thing. This is an Ace Tech model AA13800. This power supply seems to be pretty darn rock solid. We're gonna use another Mac in a second that has a Sony in it. This one is an Apple version of the power supply, part number 6315105-A. This one is a leaky mess. You'll notice that there's some paint on this one. So if you have an Apple branded power supply in a Mac SE, you got to recap it. I'm sorry. So this is a bad one. So recap your Apples. Yes, I hit the neck. I'm sorry. The other thing we need to do, if the keen-eyed among you might have noticed there's something missing here. There's also some weird stuff. There's an aftermarket fan on there called the SE silencer, which is kind of neat. But there's something missing right there. When I was taking the power supply apart, this just slid out the back of it. So we got to take the back off of this thing and give it a little clean. Hey Trina, how are you today? Yes, sorry folks for stressing you out about the neck. I have, and normally it's the Mac Plus, the Mac 512, and the Mac 128 that you really think about the crack solder joints, but I have found some SEs that could use a little bit of uncracking. Let's take a look in here. Right, again, the things we often really care about are the ones for the power connectors. These all look nice and shiny. The flyback. And then the yoke. I think I see a crack here on the yoke, so we're going to reflow those. There's also the other power connector that goes from the power supply into here. It's a good idea to take a look at those. That all looks good. So yeah, let's do these solder joints and put this thing back on here. Trina, have you unpacked all your boxes yet? All right, so we're just gonna hit this with the solder pult, get rid of some of these. I just reflowed a couple of the joints real quick to so that the pins would stick up in there. Down to 4 left. Nice job, Trina. That required a lot of dedication. Yeah, the more you think about the neck, the more you're going to crack it. I don't know, did anyone see Action Retro's new video today? I almost forgot to stream because I was checking it out real quick. I don't know if I'll sleep for a week. I won't say any more than that in case you haven't seen it out there. Yeah, Justin Morgan's streaming today. So Bacchus is asking if Teddy Ruxpin is a known character in the U.S. Does someone want to fill him in? Oh, jeez. I remember kids getting Teddy Ruxpin back in the day. I thought it was a terrifying thing, even back then. So basically, Teddy Ruxpin has like a robot face and animatronic face, I guess is the official term. And he has a tape player inside of his chest, and so when you play the tape, his face moves. There's always stories of like people with Teddy Ruxpins whose batteries have been removed and they're still talking. So most people think Teddy Ruxpin is possessed. And I would tend to agree. Should have a poll whether people think Teddy Ruxpin is possessed. Yeah, it's similar to a Furby. But Furbies didn't have like tapes that you like put into their chests. Okay, where are we at here? So can you see what we got? Alright, so we got our SE on the side. We got our Ace-Tech power supply. We got our analog board. So how I like to put these things together is slide that up in there like that. And then take the analog board, put that up in there. Oh, it's always like a balancing act with these things because you got to get the brightness control up in there and got to get your power supply in. There we go. All right, and then once you kind of have everything lined up, you can go like this, turn it up on its side. Little tabs are in there. Don't forget when you go to screw this thing back together to put your little metal shield on the back. Or else people online will yell at you. The other thing to notice with these is that there are different types of screws. That one doesn't have a net thing on it. That one goes over there. Uh-oh. I think we have more screws than we need. Oh, no. I think that's right. Okay, so these fine thread versus the sheet metal screws. The fine thread go into the power supply screwdriver. Okay. Let's see here. Set this up here like this. We'll use that crappy Apple power supply as a anchor point. So we got our fine threads that are going to hold the power supply to the analog board. 4 screws for that. Now some Macs that I've run into use fine threads for all of them, but most of the time it's going to be the sheet metal screws that hold the chassis onto the frame, and hold the analog board onto the frame. So we're going to have our sheet metal screw here. Can do a little bit of alignment. Yep, don't forget your grounding lead when you go to put this thing back together. Don't forget to put in your anode. Make sure to have all your things plugged in before you power up your SE. One more screw here. That one I could feel I wasn't putting it in right, so again, you can walk it out, walk it backwards, go back down. And I like to wait to tighten them all down until I get all the screws in. Pull that out of the way slightly. Okay, so that's all those things. Now we have our ground, our regular ground comes out of the power supply. And that should get typically one of these. It feels like it's the wrong. Well, that's gonna have to be it. Okay, and then make sure this strap is on there tight. Okay. Gonna switch to a bigger screwdriver for that one. So Vic is asking, what caused the rust on the cage around the flyback? I mean, there was rust everywhere on this thing, so, you know, it's, I think it was just stored in a moist area for a long time. Okay, do our last one. I'm not going to put that on yet, but I do want to put the strap in. The having all these in kind of helps stabilize the chassis. All right, let's put that in. Oof. This anode cap is very inflexible. That is the most inflexible one I've ever come across. Okay. Trina says she sold a desktop case and the guy had an Uber to come get it. That's awesome. Okay, now we got to get our hand down in there. It's probably a good idea to try to plug that one in before. I always forget, as you can tell. So this is the lead that goes from the power supply to the analog board. Okay, we're clicked in there. What else we got? That's ready to go. That's ready to go. I guess we should try to find the logic board now. Where did I put that freaking logic board? Oops. Here it is. I found it. So this is the logic board from this system. Got a little fuzz on it. I actually did do an ultrasonic bath on this one. Okay, so for these, connect up your speaker. Put one side in. See, one side of the logic board has little cutouts in it. Can put one side in and then line that up with your cutouts. Slide that in and then pop it in. Now we will plug in our power supply, our logic board connection. We'll leave this unconnected for the time being. And let's power this thing in. Power this thing on. Let's go nuts and connect a mouse to it. We'll even connect a blue SCSI to it. Oh, look what I was about to forget. Don't power that up without that on there. Okay, here we go. CRT is still not connected. Yep. I think we're good. Do we have everything connected? I think we do. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we got nothing. That's bad. 3, 2, 1. Yeesh. Okay. So what are we gonna do about this? Well, that's some fun. That is some fun. So one of the things that's an issue is that some of these power supplies have adjustments in them, and I don't think the Ace Tech power supplies do. Okay. So first thing we're gonna do. Yeah, the power strip is on. Thanks for reminding me though, Garth. Oh wait. Holy crap. I could have swore this was on. Oh, man. How many of my repairs come down to turning on the power strip? All right, let's try it again. All right, power on. 3, 2, 1. We got fan spin. That's only slightly better. Oh, geez. And what did I do? I disconnected this. That's what happens when you try to do too many things in one day. I should have just went to the radio show and had my fun there, but no. Come back, do a stream. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Chime. So basically, if it didn't chime, my next step was going to be switching out the power supply. It's hard for me to show you this, but we have a screen. We have a Happy Mac. We're booting. So I have 608 on this blue SCSI. I'll shut this down. It bonged, it eeped. All right, so we're gonna start off with a floppy drive that I know works. I did a super quick servicing on this one. It is not a pristine floppy drive, but it works, so we'll take it. Oh, there's a dead spider. So put this on here. Yes, Trina, I will get another. I will get another camera someday. All right, let's pull this out. And this floppy disk has Dark Castle on it. Let's see, can I prop this thing up so it's a little bit easier for y'all to see? We're very highly technical here at the BigBadBench, but you all already knew that. Okay. Oh, Bacchus hating on me, man, saying that all my stuff works first try. Damn, that's harsh. Okay. So, Panman GR, that is exactly what this system was. So, when I popped this system open, you know, I could see that it was a dual floppy drive system, but when I popped it open, I was like, wait, there's a hard drive. And so there's an aftermarket bracket that you could add the hard drive. It staggers it further back in the chassis, and it had this Rodime hard drive in there. And so I want to try to power this thing up today and see if this actually works. I tried to connect it to another system and it didn't. So yeah, this was one of the few times I actually found something neat inside of a computer. Oh, we're booting. All right, so what does that tell us? That tells us that the IWM chip is not fried, or else it would not boot off the floppy like that. So we'll have to do some more extensive testing, but we booted off the floppy. Cool. That's exciting. All right, here's another thing. Here's another thing that happened. So, when I took this out, and I posted some pictures on social media this week, these floppy drives were the nastiest floppy drives I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad floppy drives, and you can see like this dust, right? I was telling you about the dust that was in there, but I have no idea what it is. It's like powdered corrosion, right? And so this thing is just awful. And so I didn't clean this one up because I wanted to show you how bad it was. Like the pictures just don't do it. Like, look at this. Look at what is happening here. Oh yeah. Oh, it's just so nasty. And I'm dumping it on my nice, fresh, clean Mac SE here. So we're going to set that aside. So I think I got some in here. So this one used to look like that, maybe a little bit worse. And so I just took this beast and I stuck it in the ultrasonic bath. I took off the eject motor and the head movement motor before I put that in there. And then I put this all back together and I've lubricated it. And you can see, or you can hear, the clicking is very nice. So the movements should be clean on this one. But I want to know if putting this thing in the ultrasonic bath destroyed it. You can still see there's like some spots where the corrosion just started eating on this thing. And I mean, there's still rust, obviously, because I haven't cleaned up the rust. But like, man, compare this thing to that. So the ultrasonic bath did a lot of work, but it's not good. I am gonna stick this inside of the cage because in some systems I've found that the cage does like EMI shielding or something, and it makes the floppy disks tend to work more likely. I know in my Mac Pluses I have to use the little bracket on them or else the floppy drives just refuse to work. So I don't know if that's the case with an SE, but I always have better luck when they're inside of a mount. So we'll call this putting it inside the mounting bracket for luck. Yeah, and there have been some situations where, you know, you can recap your floppy drive. I think, Garth, did you recap one of these to make it work? All right, let's plug this in. Gutbaum recapped a manual inject drive to make it work. Wow, I didn't think we needed to go that new for do that for one of those. That sucks. All right, so we got our floppy drive in here. Let's see if that catches fire when we power this thing up. 3, 2, 1. It just moved. I heard the head move, so that's good. Where did I put my Dark Castle disc? Oh, there it is. Oh, the caps fell off when you removed it from a Quadra. Yes, I had that happen. I haven't gone back and looked at that. I did notice that Battery Bomb Power Mac 6100, there was a cap loose floating around inside the chassis. I didn't know what that was from. All right, let's get up. Get our screen. The screen is not very bright, but I don't see any burn-in, so that's good. Oh, we got a happy Mac. Oh, God. So it started to try to boot, and it did not. It did not. Listen to this eject motor. Whoa, that eject motor is mad, bro. Ugh, that's yuck. All right. So, our floppy drive is not happy. So we'll have to do more diagnosis on that. But I do want to try out this hard drive. So sometimes when the power connectors are like this, you can almost make out like if there's cracked solder joints under there. I've seen that before. I don't really like the look on one of these, but let's try it to start off with anyway. So I've booted this one off the Blue SCSI, but when I did Dark Castle, I booted it off of a known good hard drive, or a known good floppy drive. So the floppy disk in there is good. Yeah. Oh, Vicar, that's an interesting point. Most of these CRTs had their cut off turned down by corporate. That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. And also, I normally wouldn't just rest the hard drive up against the metal chassis like that, but we have a big old metal frame down under there. All right, so let's see what happens with this thing. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. Well, it spun up. It made a really awful noise, but then it spun up, and then it made a noise that made it sound like it was spinning down, but it stayed spinning up. Oh, we got a happy Mac. Maybe not that happy. Nope, yet, nope. It's a sad Mac. It started off happy. Let's pop a Blue SCSI in there too. Tilt this up a little bit so you can all see what happens here. Got a Blue SCSI in there. Man, that initial click is something. Oh. I need to use my other mic to listen to that hard drive. Where did I put my other mic? Well, no bonus mics for y'all today. Maybe it could be because of the orientation of the drive. We could try reorienting it. So what's happening here? Oh, I don't know if you can all see that. The disk is damaged. Do you want to initialize it? I don't want to initialize it. Let's see, can I do anything to make this not flickery? Nope, that does not help at all. That does not do anything either. Alright, sorry folks. I can't undo the clicking. Or the flickering. Colorado is getting demolished by USC. Yeah, I think people are on to Colorado. Let's see, control panels. Let's see if we can see something real quick. I think I have silver lining installed here. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Silver lining crashed. Ugh. All right. Let's switch our orientation. Let's make this thing lay flat like it's supposed to do, or kind of sort of flat anyway. All right, it's hard to see there, but we're basically lined up all right. I'm going to keep my face close to this drive when we power it up so you can hear this awful noise. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Oh. We have more bad noises happening. I think that hard drive's dead. Poor Rodime. You tried. I give you a lot of credit, Rodime. Bacchus, got something to say about me sticking my face close to the explosion point. Look what I do for y'all. I put my body on the line just to you know, try to create some entertaining content. Sounds like an RC car. Oh, geez. Well, let's shut this down. Give that poor old drive a break. Maybe we'll take it apart tomorrow on Dave's stream if I'm there. See what's on the inside of that poor old Rodime. All right, gotta pull this off real quick. Let's just want to show you the chassis all put back together, or not totally put back together, but at least kind of show you what it looks like all cleaned up. Let's pull this hard drive out of here. Oh, it's Trina. I didn't see. Are you streaming today? I know Justin Morgan's stream. Oh, right. Tomorrow is not Dave's stream. It's Trina's stream. Yes. Everybody tune in for Trina's vintage Apple Tech Babble tomorrow. She promises to be awake for it. I don't know if she's actually promised that yet. Put in one screw real quick just to hold this thing together. So again, go back and check the short that I posted about this system, showing the retrobright, showing the before and after. This thing looks way better. So here's our Macintosh SE. Oh, The front is still, I guess I should pop the front back in. I don't know, it looks way better than it did. You can see there is a slight color difference between the front and the side, but it's way better. So yeah, I paid 40 bucks for this Mac SE. It came with a hard drive or a keyboard. Oh yeah, one of the things I forgot to tell you last week when I was working on the 6100, part of the reason I bought the 6100 is because it came with one of these, what do you call this one? The aircraft carrier keyboard. And so the SE also came with an appropriate keyboard for the model. So yeah, I got some decent keyboards out of it. But to get this was a good surprise. I was not expecting this. So it's just a stupid bracket, but I've never seen an official bracket. I've done a dual floppy disk SE before with a blue SCSI in it, but it was my own little mod. So this is going to be a first real SE with dual floppies and a real hard drive in it. So that's kind of fun. Tech Night, you're here just in time. Go back and look at the beginning of my stream. I had some pictures that you'd be interested in because I went to a vintage electronics swap meet today. Lots of tubes, so many tubes. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. We've been going about an hour. So basically what happened here, we had this nasty SE. The floppy drives are still hosed, so they're gonna need some work. Apparently sticking the floppy drive in the ultrasonic cleaner does not magically fix it. What else did we find? IWM is not dead from being attached, so we put in a known good floppy drive and it booted right up. We booted to Dark Castle off a floppy disk, super easy. This poor drive, this poor Rodime drive is making nasty noises, so we'll hopefully play with that on Trina's Dave's stream tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Got some stuff to do in the neighborhood. But yeah, you missed all the fun, Tech Night. Thank you all for stopping by. We're gonna call it a stream. But yeah, again, it was nice to meet Alan Grassi in person. That was cool. Thank you all for coming, and I appreciate. Oh shoot, I have one more announcement. So I talked to the guy that won the Macintosh LC3, and he doesn't want it anymore. And so I need to give away an LC3 again. So maybe next week's stream we'll do a drawing for the Macintosh LC3. So you all got another chance of winning the repaired LC3. Yeah, we'll do a new raffle. Well, I mean, we'll use the same pool of people from before, but we'll do a new poll or a new choosing. So that's some excitement stuff, right? Yes, everyone wants it. It's just waiting for y'all. All right, I'm gonna stop this for real. I'm not gonna pull a Steve and just keep saying I'm gonna stop for forever. Have a great week, y'all, and I will see you tomorrow on Dave's Trina stream. Check out Justin D. Morgan's stream today at 3 o'clock Eastern, I think is the time. And yeah, have a good day, y'all. Bye.